All right, ladies and gentlemen, I had a couple comments. Yes, I burn pine. This is nothing but like spruce and pine and everything soft that is in Colorado. I had a couple comments that say that the fireplace it burns way too cold. This, that, and another thing. This is by design much hotter than a normal stove, like a lot hotter is what I'm trying to get at. There's a jacket inside. You can't hardly see it here, but it superheats the air, and then it adds that on top of this burn chamber down here. Let me show you the temperature. Let's see if you can read it first. Okay, there we go. There we go. I don't want it to get over hot and mess up my meter. It's 960. It's 960-ish, okay, in temperature. You can find a hotter spot in there, and it'll go over the temperature that the thing can go. And that's what I was trying to avoid. But that's in the firebox. Then this little jujube adds that superheated air like a torch. There's a thimble that's up inside this, probably 2 foot long-ish. You got to look back at the videos. I can't really tell you. This firebox can take this size wood like no problem. It's that big. And then it caps off, and all this is concentrated backwards like a focal lens. That's why it gets so much hotter here than pine could normally burn. It takes that superheated air, mixes it with the fuel that it's making. It goes through a thimble, like a rocket nozzle. It would be another name for it. That's made out of refractory cement and that poth rock stuff. Then it goes up inside there. That thimble is big enough that the inside of this chamber, the inside of the same size deal, only has about an inch of air to return on the outside. And that sounds like too little, but that's actually much bigger than the 5-inch that's going up through the center. So it's acting like a heat pump, okay? Because the hot goes up through the thimble, then there's about 10 inches of space on top of the thimble. Go back, look at the videos. That holds it into that dome chamber, and that burns 1,200 degrees. Really safe. The temperature you can tell by the color of the stainless steel, and it's safely in the 1,200 range is what I'm trying to get at. And it's about this high underneath that blanket of kale wool and sand that's above it. This is just like a thermal containment around that vessel, so it can't cool down. Once it gets up to temperature, it's like a perpetual self-cleaning oven. It's just not capable of getting any colder, is what I'm trying to get at. But it reverses the flow. The flow goes from here up through a 5-inch, goes through the thimble, expands in that bell, traps the carbon monoxide to the high side, carbon dioxide to the low side, and then as it pushes, it's not even really letting the carbon monoxide through, is what I'm trying to say. It is burning it because I know it's over 1,200. What it is exactly, I don't know. That laser, it barely does any higher than 900 without freaking out. I don't have a way to tell you, is what I'm trying to get at. But it's safely above that. I did a video where I took apart the pipe, and y'all don't ever try stupid shit just to be like ignorant to prove a point or whatever. Carbon monoxide is odorless. It's all that, and it will fucking kill you. Okay, I'm just saying I was confident enough that it was burning hot enough to burn that away. In with the original dry, the steam jacket that it had originally in some of the early videos, this doesn't have that. That's another reason why it wasn't reinforced concrete. I was just testing this. And if I liked it, well, then I'm out a little bit of concrete. I can buy more. And then do it right. This is not the final version, or wasn't, because I thought about moving the stove. Like, if I built another room, it would be that way. And I was going to put that in its permanent spot over there, and then this all could come apart. Hence why I never did any, there's no reinforcement whatsoever in that. And no, it's not hempcrete or nothing like that, just out of the bag concrete and sand. That's it. There's 3,700 pounds of concrete by volume, by sand, by the mix is what I'm trying to get at. So, but that's how it all works, y'all. This is how the unit works. And does it make like ucky yucky? No. There's a video back there. This thing burns so clean that you can look up through 24 foot of pipe, and all you see is a little bit of soot. And that's just because it cycles. If it was burning constantly, it wouldn't even make that soot. Is what I'm trying to get at. And there's no door on this, so it ingests the dust that we have. And like today, the reason it can burn today is it's 30 degrees, but we have 25 mile an hour winds, 47 mile an hour gust, and man, that wind up here cuts through stuff. And it just feels good today, you know, with all the wind banging. You can hear the skylights upstairs. If you ever build in Colorado, don't build skylights. I built this for another guy, and for months I tried to explain to him, you're so high in elevation that the light that those skylights are going to let in the summertime you don't want. In the wintertime, it's not the right angle to get. He just, bless his heart, he really did mean well, but he didn't understand. Like he was not into none of this kind of stuff, is what I'm trying to get, or solar, or any of that. You know, I mean, he just wasn't into none of that kind of stuff. So everybody has limits, is what I'm trying to get at. I like messing with thermodynamics, y'all. Always have, always will. It's like one of my biggest things. I just love thermodynamics. Am I educated in it? Nope. Dumb as a rock. Uneducated, man. That's what I is. I is nobody. I just enjoy it, is what I'm trying to get at. So, okay. Hope y'all had a good time with the video. This is how it works. One more time. And no, it doesn't burn cold enough to make any kind of pollutant whatsoever. It's burning at almost 1,000 degrees down here. And if I had a better one, I would show you that there's hotter spots in there. In the focal, in the center of this, it gets stupid hot. That's what makes this trick work, y'all. That's why I'm saying this isn't like a normal turn, you know, like a burn box here and it goes over and then flips upside down. This ain't that at all. This is by no means one of those, is okay. But don't do it with like mild steel or anything like that. You'll really regret it. I mean, and if you got a family, they'll probably pay for it because you're just being stupid. It can't be done with mild steel. It has to be 304. It needs to be at least 60. I would say, 100 mil would be just fine. You know, I mean, or 100,000 would be just fine. And 2 layers thick. There's 2 layers in here. I use the second layer as the air. Some areas that has like insulation or concrete backfill to make it hotter. Some areas it has kale wool as a backfill, and then some areas it has air, and you just got to look at the video to see what I'm trying to say. But that way it can superheat the air, and then it burns much hotter. It's not. Could it bring in air from the outside? Yeah, just bring in a jacket around the concrete, and take the very cold air from outside and start heating it up, and then just allow it to flip upside down. Thermodynamics, when you spin something, the heat goes to the outside, and otherwise heat rises. Just keep that in mind. But it's a reason, hence the reason that they don't understand about climate change, the modeling of it, and they keep blaming it's the CO2 in the air. That's bad. Yes, it's man-made. We did it. I'm not saying we didn't. Okay, all that happy. I'm okay with saying that it's a problem and it's man-made. It's the ocean. It's the plastic in the petroleum scum on the first 100 foot of the ocean that's making it a focal lens that's making it hotter than it needs to be, and it can't get rid of the heat. That's the fucking problem, not the CO2 in the air. Go into a hot, steamy bathroom, take a nice, hot, steamy shower, step out into the open air, okay, whether there's CO2 or not, you feel the difference. Now go into the hot, steamy bathroom, wrap yourself up in a raincoat, maybe wrap the shower curtain around you, step outside in the sunshine, and you will most definitely understand what I'm trying to get at. It's the focal lens. It's this pond scum, the cesspool that we've done to the ocean. That's the problem. And can we fix this? Yeah, we could if we started today and we really meant it, like a whole globe. Could one country? No, it's just too big. We couldn't pin Thwaites Glacier fast enough. There are people that try to pump seawater onto the ice. That's a benefit. We need to do it much bigger in like miles of water. And it would be better if we use thorium to not completely desalinate the water, but desalinate it enough that you're not adding the salt to the ice, is what I'm trying to get at. I don't believe it makes that big of a difference. I'm just saying it would work better. But tit for tat, for the freezing part of it is all tit for tat. Okay, guys, we're going to leave it at this. Cut it short. The deal, and no, it doesn't burn cold enough to. Sorry, y'all. Even now that it's burned completely out. Let's see if I can't get in there and hit that. Yeah, over 1,000 degrees right there. That's what I'm trying to get at. That focal point is hotter than hot. If I had a better laser thing, somebody send me one. I'd love to take this another step up. If y'all could understand how hot it gets up here, that's where all the magic happens, is in this section. That just makes the fuel. It just makes smoke. That section is where all the magic happens. Okay, talk to you then, y'all. Bye.